go ahead and say whatever you want to say. Seriously, go ahead and say whatever you want to say. Sure. Go ahead and say the Seattle Seahawks are 7-9. And they stink because they're under 500. Or they're from the NFC West. Go ahead and say this, the New York Giants and Tampa Bay Buccaneers are wins 10-6. Not only that, go ahead and mention that the Seahawks were blown out by both teams. One of them at Quest. Go ahead and also bring up the fact, I have a friend in Seattle who is a Oakland Raiders fan. Go ahead and say that the Oakland Raiders went 6-0 in their division, had their best year since they went to the Super Bowl, and we still made the playoffs over the Raiders. Go ahead. Go right ahead. Because you know what? Doesn't matter. Bottom line is, Seattle Seahawks are the NFC West Division champions. First division championship since 2007. And you can complain, you can say there's something wrong with the system. Bottom line is, you can't do anything about it. It's the way the system works. It's the way the system works. Somebody had to win. And I guarantee you, if the Rams defeated the Seahawks, people would have been complaining about the Rams being 8-8 and hosting a playoff game. And hosting the New Orleans Saints. It would have happened. Because bottom line is, the majority of the NFL doesn't like the NFC West. And I love it when a division in any sport, is around mediocrity. And if it's on the East Coast, everybody just kind of sweeps it under the rug. But if it's on the West Coast, it's like, whatever. I mean, even when the Seahawks were in their prime, going to Super Bowls, and the Rams were doing well, honestly, the last time I remember a division from the West Coast that got love was the American League West in 2002 and 2003. Outside of it, I haven't seen any love from any West Coast division. And if you know of a division, go ahead and let me know. I would be interested. Because we'll talk about the Seahawks, but look at this. I'm going to compare the NFC West to another sport. Look at the Southeast Division of the National Hockey League. If that's not comparing apples to oranges here, because you got the same situation. Before the Washington Capitals were good, before Ovechkin came into the league, the Southeast Division was terrible. One team would get in, maybe two, and that would be it. And like the NFC West, the Southeast Division produced 2 Stanley Cup champions with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Carolina Hurricanes. All right? But notice how nobody clowned on that division. Notice how nobody clowns on how bad that division still is. Even though the Washington Capitals are good. Don't get me wrong. Capitals are very good. But notice how nobody clowns on the Atlanta Thrashers, Florida Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes, and Tampa Bay Lightning. Notice how nobody does. Notice how nobody pays attention to it. Did anybody realize how weak the AFC South was this year? I mean, not to take anything away from the Jaguars, Titans, Texans, or the Colts. Bottom line is that division was up for grabs probably as long as the NFC West was. The fact that the Jaguars, not to harp on the Jaguars, but the fact they had a chance to upset the Colts, that tells me the Colts kind of had a down year there, So, say what you want. Say what you want. But at the end of the day, the banner is still in the rafters, and it still says Seattle Seahawks 2010 NFC West Division champions. And we're going to host the Saints. That's very scary. Because I've been coming on here and I've been saying for time and time and again that the NFC West is a crapshoot, which it rightfully is. But a representative from the NFC West has won at least one playoff game ever since the realignment. And I have a feeling that could end with the Seahawks. You know what? And if it does, so what? First time in 10 years since the NFC West team hasn't advanced in the playoffs? I say we're still doing pretty well. So, what makes me nervous, though, number one thing is I'm really not nervous about the Saints. And you know what? If the Saints come in and just totally go about their business, how can you hate them? How can you hate them with how fun the Seahawks have been this year? I mean, seriously, But what makes me nervous is the Seahawks quarterback situation. Pete Carroll did not announce who was going to start, until late this week. And I understand the whole with this, that throws off New Orleans in the sense they don't know who to prepare for, but at the same time, that also kind of interferes with the Seahawks and their game plan. I mean, because the quarterback, as we all know, is the most important position in a football team. Excuse me. What it's going to come down to is this. This is honestly how I see New Orleans playing. I think New Orleans is going to come in, and they're going to struggle a little bit right after the bat, because they're going to probably try and get used to the 12th man. I mean, don't get me wrong, the 12th man's going to be there. But then they're going to click. And it's before they click that the Seahawks need to jump on them, and they need to jump on them big time. Build up a small lead, put more pressure on New Orleans, because New Orleans is going to click. No ifs and buts about it. New Orleans will click. The question is whether or not the Seahawks click. Is this going to be? This is the reason why I love the NFC West so much, because you have no idea how each team is going to play. And this is why, even though the Seahawks have a losing record and has been annoying sometimes, it's why it's been fun. Is this the Seahawks team that's going to blow up? Is this the Seahawks team that's going to take the field against the Saints? Going to be the team that took the field against the San Francisco 49ers at home and defeated and drilled the Niners 20-6? Is this going to be the Seattle Seahawks team that went to Chicago and won? Is this going to be the same the Seahawks team that took down the Rams 16-6 in the regular season finale, or is this going to be the team that got drilled by St. Louis? I think it was 20-3 in Week 4. We don't know. Is this going to be the Seattle Seahawks team that took down the San Diego Chargers? Is this going to be the Seahawks team that got drilled by the Oakland Raiders? We don't know. We don't know, unfortunately. And that is why I say New Orleans will click. The question is whether or not the Seattle Seahawks do. Is the offensive line going to block Matt Hasselbeck? Is Marshawn Lynch finally going to go off? He's been quiet for a couple weeks. What if Matt gets hurt? See, this is why I keep telling people you can't rag on the NFC West, because there are so many what ifs. It's so interesting, so mind-boggling, But bottom line is, we are the NFC West Division champions, and if the Saints come in, okay. The Saints come in and they take care of business, and they take care of business. Seahawks take care of business, we'll go from there. But as far as a team that was rebuilding, the Seahawks are so much better than what they were in 2009. 2009, we got blown out by so many different teams. The Niners the first time, Indianapolis, Dallas, Minnesota, Houston, Green Bay, Arizona twice. And in those games, we weren't even competitive. You might as well not have even played the game. This year, we have shown some signs that we are rebuilding and we're moving forward. And we have a division championship. Not too bad for a rebuilding year, considering where I said I expected the team to win 6 wins. And also, as I said in my preview video, that the Seahawks, I thought, at least could go 7-9. At best 9-7, and maybe those 2 records could be good enough for a division championship. And I was right. 7-9, we're division champions. So go Hawks. Have fun. Have fun watching your NFL playoffs. I'm going to be watching them, and I will recap the game either when the game's over tomorrow or on Sunday, when some other games are going on. So, but yeah, go Hawks. And you know what? Say what you want. Bottom line is we're in the playoffs, and every Seattle fan is enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. As weird as it is, as weird as a 7-9 team hosting the defending Super Bowl champions, as weird as that is, I'm enjoying it. And every single Seattle Seahawks fan is enjoying it. So, thanks for watching. Go Hawks. Bring on the Saints.